Here we are in Las Vegas with Neil Johnson, Director of Global Sales with MGM Resorts. Neil, how's your time today here in Vegas at the event?
Well, I live here, so every day is great. I live here, and we're hosting this event in our property, and kind of bringing two areas, two facets of this kind of dialogue together: the esports professionals and the destinations and hotels. So proud to be here, to have it in our property, but also glad to have a lot of the great esports minds and kind of the influencers here as well. We've got some relationships with them, so it's kind of cool to kind of check in, see where we're at, and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Absolutely. One of the things I appreciate about you, whenever I hear you speak, you are definitely repping esports. I was like, man, he is in the space. He is working it for us. I'm so glad I got an opportunity to meet you. What's your background? How did you fall in love with the industry? At least I'm convinced you love it.
No, I do, I do. My background, pretty much, I've worked in sports, but traditional sports. I worked for Disney, Anaheim Sports Incorporated when we owned the Angels and Mighty Ducks, and I was living in Orange County. And through that relationship, I came on board with ESPN. We bought the marketing and sponsorship rights for UNLV athletics, and I sold those athletics. And then I jumped into the convention bureau side of things. So I worked for Vegas, and I worked for LA. But my boss brought me on from LA to MGM Resorts now, and he's like, "Hey, we want you to tackle esports." So I'm kind of like, March 2016 is kind of when I came on with MGM, and August, that's when I actually started going tackling esports. So I went to MLG Orlando Open, and I was walking across the street, and one of the players from FaZe Clan, Attach, was there, and we walked across, and I was kind of just talking to him, like, "Hey man, how you doing? I'm kind of new to this stuff," and he was just so welcoming. He was so cool, and then I turn around and I'm in the arena, and he gets up on stage. He's like one of the main guys, He's like, he's not just like a player. He's like one of the main players. So I'm like, these guys are cool. They're inviting. They're easy to talk to. And then I just sat there for like about 8 hours and just kind of like didn't leave. Was hungry, but it's like the competition's kind of going. People are getting eliminated. I'm hungry, but I'm really digging the event. So I didn't leave, and just from that point on, I've just been hooked. And just so the relationship that we have with some of the leagues, with ESL and DreamHack, Major League Gaming, relationship we have with Twitch, I'm always out there. I'm wearing other people's logos and repping them. We've got a relationship with Allied, but I'm repping Allied right now just because I want our partners to know that I care about their space. I care about what's going on. I'm treating your business like mine, and yeah, I'm all in, man.
That's incredible. Give us some insight to what a partnership with MGM looks like, because you talked a lot about the partner model with you in reference to the few people you're working with, Allied, and what Judd's doing and his team, ESP Gaming. We supported them with their PUBG event, the 100K prize pool this weekend at the Aria. Incredible. But what does it mean behind it? Is it just the venue relationship for facilities? What does it really encompass?
Well, a lot of like destinations that you'll see right here that are kind of trying to get on board. I mean, everything is about the live events, and there was a struggle to kind of get there and get the live events. But after you've had the live events, we've had Riot, games, we've had DreamHack, we've had MLG and stuff like that. After you get into that and you kind of realize, how can we? I think the next part, the next evolution is content creation. And so I think in order to get into that, you have to have these relationships with Allied, with ESP, with Unicorn that we have at MGM Grand. But I think the biggest thing with us is, if we're going to partner with you, we're going to bring the full weight of our assets, the shopping, the dining, the entertainment, the hospitality to the equation, because we think it's something, we're bringing something new to the equation. A lot of people, when they're just kind of working with four walls, like, "Hey, host event, what can you give me a discount on AV or something like that?" But no, we're bringing the full weight of our assets there, and we are in this for a partnership. Now we're, say we've got an area to where it might make more sense to kind of push you into this arena, but if it doesn't make sense for you, why are we doing it? So I mean, we're here for the long haul. I mean, we're not just trying to get a couple of events, be in and out, and like, yeah, we tried this thing. We're here. We want to be part of this ecosystem. We're going to be here to stay, and we want to have a dominant voice. And so partnerships are the way to go. I mean, if you have if it's all about us and it's like, just win for us and everybody else has to lose, that's going to get around quickly. And that's not how we do business.
Is this a long-term play for you? What's the ROI for MGM? So if we look at esports venues and how they're doing, it's still early and we're still trying to build out that culture and that presence, especially in Vegas as a destination hub and these local guys. What's the mindset there to be like, is MGM leadership and executives feeling comfortable with the play in esports? Do they understand what's the runway we're dealing with?
I think, like I had mentioned earlier out there, I mean, one of the things that helps us is we already have buy-in from the top down. Our CEO said we want to own sports in this city. So this isn't something that you kind of have to go and build internal, buy-in. We've got it, and everybody knows our whole mission is to go out there and kind of own this space. So that's kind of one of the things, and then just in terms of the ROI, we want to be native to this space, and I think we want to host events, we want a content creation, we feel we can elevate the experience, in terms of just a gaming experience, lobby bar, host hotel, but just elevate the experience, and we think we kind of bear that to light. So we think through really diving in and being passionate about this space, it serves our number one objective. And the number one objective for everybody kind of getting in this space is kind of like, we want to be in touch with and affect the next generation of travelers and visitors to our destinations and our properties, and so we think, because this group is so young, they're so millennial, they're so diverse, this is the next wave, the next generation of future patrons for all of our places, so we've identified this group, and now it's kind of like, let's dive in together to kind of come up with the best way that we can give you a great experience.
Do we have a time frame? Are we dealing with a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan?
No, like I said, we're in this for the long haul. I mean, we've got 5 or 6 different internal departments that kind of come together. I service this space from a group sales perspective, but then we also have people from our entertainment and booking, people who book Rihanna and stuff like that. Then we touch the space from interactive gaming. What's the casino floor look like? Is it more skill based, more esports based gaming? We've got corporate PR and corporate marketing. So all of our departments kind of come together to form this Voltron, if you will, this MGM Voltron, to kind of attack this space. But we're here to stay. We're not just kind of dabbling our toes or anything like that. As Las Vegas in general, and being the biggest operator in Las Vegas with MGM, we are always constantly looking for the next. We were the ones that started like the culinary trend here and the celebrity chefs, and now that's part of culture. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. And I think this is the approach that we're looking at. We're here to stay. We're in the space, and we're not going anywhere.
That's incredible. Last question for you. How does somebody work with MGM? So if I'm saying there are viewers, everybody's watching, and you have entrepreneurs in this space, what's the right partner to come to you with an opportunity to say, hey, Mr. Johnson, I'd love the chance to work with you. How can you enhance? Is it tournament organizers? Is it other esports venues and arenas? What's the sweet spot now with MGM based on their portfolio, or where do they want to go?
Well, I think we started in this space with hosting live events. So if you're looking at producing live events, that's something that's going to get our attention. And the lion's share of our organization is here in Las Vegas, but we also have 6 properties throughout the rest of the country. And we just opened up National Harbor outside DC, and we're opening up MGM Springfield outside Boston next month. If we can sit down here and help our new properties, start securing events and venues, well, that's a huge win. Well, not only are we opening up new properties, but we're showing them return. But live events is kind of our bread and butter. But then we also kind of want to get into content creation. So if you're looking to produce content or create content, or working with, like, if you're a main influencer in the space, and then we definitely kind of want to check in with you, because we feel that's the direction that we're going.